You don't go to Owsley County, Kentucky without a reason. You can't take a wrong turn and accidentally end up there. It's miles to the nearest interstate, and there's no hotel in town. It doesn't cater to outsiders. A half dozen times each year, I drive to Owsley County, where my mom grew up and where, in many ways, I did too. The roads to this tiny Appalachian community wind tightly through the mountains, snaking around corners and plunging into valleys. Even after all my years of making the journey, I still feel a bit nauseous on some of the curves. On this drive, I'm talking to one of my legal clients on the phone. "Yes, I'll meet you at the courthouse at 8 a.m. Thursday," I yell, as though increasing my volume will make up for the patchy cell service. Yes, 8 a.m. This client has called me repeatedly over the past few days, and this isn't the first time I've confirmed the time of her hearing. We are going to court to get a protective order to keep her safe from her physically abusive husband. I can tell she's nervous. I start to say something to comfort her, but I'm interrupted by 3 short beeps letting me know that I have, once again, lost service. "Call failed" flashes across the screen, and I can't help but feel as though this call isn't the only thing failing in my legal practice these days. I decided to work as a legal services lawyer in rural Kentucky to make a difference, to represent women who couldn't afford an attorney. Everything is harder than I'd anticipated. I sigh and switch on the radio. Eventually, the mountains give way to Boonville, the county seat and the only town for miles. From the top of the ridge, I can see the town in its entirety, spanning just a few blocks, nestled in the holler below. I sigh again, this time with relief. It is always exactly how I remember it. There is comfort in that. But once I'm driving in Boonville, surrounded by its smallness, there is a moment where the comfort resembles confinement. The town itself feels stagnant, silent, unchanging. Occasionally, a pickup truck roars around the block and breaks the quiet. The stores are worn around the edges, with faintly painted signs and pitched awnings that flap against the gray sky. There is no trace of new business or development. The mega chain stores so familiar to most Americans are nowhere to be found. $2 stores and 2 gas stations are the only franchises in town. The local high school proclaims itself the home of the Owsley County Owls, and that's how Owsley County is pronounced, Owsley County. The order of the letters in the word doesn't really matter. People give little thought to such formalities. The 1970s-style courthouse occupies the center of the town square. I occasionally go there for my work as a lawyer. When I do, I chuckle as I pass the sign inside that reads, "No tobacco use allowed in the courthouse, except for the office of the sheriff, county treasurer, and county clerk." I used to think it was a joke, but a lawyer who works there assured me that it's not. They banned smoking in the courthouse just a few years ago, and I'm told some officials refuse to go outside to have their cigarettes. A plaque in front of the courthouse proudly states Boonville's claim to fame. Daniel Boone once spent the night in the town square. Owsley County has another claim to fame. It is one of the poorest counties in America. According to the 2010 census, it has the lowest median household income, $19,351, anywhere in the United States outside of Puerto Rico. More than 45% of the population lives in poverty. Only 38% participates in the labor force, and more than 20% has a disability. Even those numbers don't accurately describe how deep the poverty runs here. It's not always visible, the poverty. Some parts of town are stacked with rows of neat brick ranches and freshly painted homes. One bright yellow house flies an American flag and has a beautiful birdbath in the front yard. Another has a border of flowering trees and well-manicured bushes. These parts of Boonville could be any small town in America. But in some places, the poverty is all that you can see. The place is scattered with houses and trailers falling in on themselves. The structures so tilted and crooked it looks like a stiff wind might knock them over. The gaps in some of the wooden houses are visible from the road, and I'm told that at least a few of them still have dirt floors. At first glance, these places look abandoned. but a vehicle in the driveway is a marker that this sagging structure is someone's home. It's hard for me to know which part of Owsley County I should show the rest of the world. Presenting the broken, falling-in places helps people understand the extent of the poverty, and I do want them to know how deep it goes. Maybe if they understand it, they can help fix it. But I also don't want them to think that this poverty is all that exists in Appalachia. To see Eastern Kentucky as hopeless, broken, dirty. That's not what I see when I look at this place that I love.